been working as a tight team since 1998, and we owe our success to the fact that we work with each other's different capabilities and talents. Not everyone on the team can forecast, but not everyone on the team can pull a spark plug or do structural analysis. We have our own individual responsibilities, and we know what they are. Knowing what your task will be when a disaster strikes avoids confusion. We do share, however, a strong knowledge of storm safety, and we share that knowledge energetically. Only part of our roles as emergency responders is actual response. It is also our responsibility to keep our populations informed of safety. Preparing communities for a weather disaster is part of that responsibility. An informed public is an empowered public. Empowering them to be prepared and to think safe means that there will be fewer people requiring urgent care in a disaster. Most of the people in Greensburg had time to get to shelter, but in many cases the shelter they sought was not sufficient to the destructive force of an EF5 tornado. We received first-hand reports from people who reported that the roof of their shelter, a designated safe room or the corner of a basement, collapsed on top of them. Simply put, adequate shelter means the difference between life and death in a tornadic storm. Generally, in houses, a basement or a small, well-fortified room with a low-span ceiling, at the lowest possible level and most interior and away from glass, is an adequate shelter. Inspections of businesses can often advise business owners of where their staff might seek shelter in a tornado. Public shelters need to be established and well advertised. The public has got to be made aware of their recourse should severe weather threaten. The picture here shows the site of a mobile home in a tornado much weaker than the one that hit Greensburg. You will note that though the mobile home was wiped from its site completely, the objects on the front porch are untouched. What this shows is that in a wind event incapable of upsetting small, low objects, an entire mobile home was wiped off the map. Mobile homes offer no shelter from a tornado. Communities with a population residing in trailer parks need to assure that in severe windstorms and tornadoes, that population has shelter to go to. Could it be that we never have need of these shelters, and that our municipalities never see so much as a strong breeze, much less a tornado? Sure. But we take it upon ourselves to tell people to change the batteries in their smoke detectors, even knowing that their house will probably not burn. And we tell people to buckle up, even though we don't expect them to be in a car accident. It's all about prevention. Cars offer no more protection than a mobile home in a tornado. They are easily tossed, overturned, and offer no shelter from debris. If a tornado is imminent, and you are in a motor vehicle, try to get to safe shelter immediately. Don't try to outrun the storm, though. You are required to stay on available roads, which may be littered with debris and downed wires. Tornadoes are not. If you cannot get to safe shelter, you will be safer out of the vehicle, in a recessed area in the ground, like a ditch. Hold on to a well-rooted bush with one hand and cover your head with the other. If you do seek shelter in a ditch, be aware of the danger of flash flooding. By now, I'm sure almost everyone has seen the very dramatic footage of how some people took shelter in an underpass during an approaching tornado. One is given the impression that because they did this, they lived. They were just lucky. Wind speeds actually increase when forced into confined spaces like underpasses and between buildings. Underpasses are not safe shelter. These pictures are of an underpass that people sheltered in the May 4th, 1999 Moore tornado, which was an F5. A woman was actually sucked out of this underpass so violently that she not only perished but was dismembered. Others that sheltered there fared a little better. You can see their outlines left by the red dirt, mud, and debris from the wind that pelted them. Many in MESO will tell you from first-hand experience how seductive the illusion of underpass shelter is when you are caught in a severe storm. But the very thing that you are trying to shelter from will become more and more intense in the underpass as the tornado grows closer. We at MESO encourage families to keep a family disaster pack in or near their shelters or safe rooms. This pack will contain things you would need subsequent to losing everything else. Such a pack should contain first aid supplies, batteries, a small cache of money, a battery-operated radio, a flashlight, a small set of tools. But you needn't be confined to just those items. The eyeglasses you just replaced? Toss them in there. A couple of Pampers? Sure. Bottled water, non-perishable snacks. One is only limited by space, practicality, and their own imaginations. Just as important as it is for emergency response teams to practice and drill, families should practice and drill too. Like us, they should also have a disaster plan. Once the safe shelter is established, practice to see how long it takes each family member to get there, and to see who might need extra help. Educate children that when the call to seek shelter is given, response should be immediate and not involve lingering to grab CDs, yearbooks, or look for pets. A disaster plan would be rehearsing what to do if you're away from shelter or home, where to go, establishing a trusted friend out of town to call in case family members become separated, etc. Even in communities where the chances of severe weather disaster are remote, a family disaster plan can be adapted to include any sort of disaster. It's our hope that we have at least raised your awareness as to the importance of severe weather disaster preparedness. We are more than happy to address any additional questions, and should we not have your answers, help you find them. Please feel free to contact us via email at full@mcwar.org or visit our website at www.mcwar.org. Thank you, and keep your eyes on the skies.